live. What's up, people? I think we live. Hold on. Let me just make sure. I got that link up. Yeah, we good. What's up, people? Hotep Jesus, we back. Another Bitcoin debate. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties. The homie Bitcoin Zay is on the road traveling. He doesn't have his backup laptop with him, so unfortunately, we weren't able to get him on this week. So I apologize for that.
Come on, Zay. Come on, man.
So we're gonna forgive him. We're gonna try and bring him back next week to do this right. But we still gotta give y'all a show. You know what I'm saying? We still gotta show y'all some love, because this is a very important discussion we having today. Means of exchange versus store value, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So today we got the homie Crypto Blood. Some of y'all might be familiar. And me and him had a very awesome discussion on his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't interview well. A lot of people don't interview me well. He's one of the few exceptions that did both really well. And I was pleased with how he did that. His podcast is awesome. Without further ado, Crypto Blood, how you doing, brother?
What's going on, man? I'm good, man. I was ready to debate your boy Zay, but don't look like that's gonna happen tonight. We're still gonna have a good conversation.
Well, tell
the
people about the Crypto Blood brand.
Yeah, man. I created the name in 2014, just set on it. But I've been in crypto since early 13, like March to be exact. That's the earliest I got receipts of me going over to BitInstant and copping Bitcoin from there. So been in the game for a minute, man. And, just decided in 2017 to do a video kind of documenting me going over my dad's house to help him finally get into Bitcoin. I've been trying to get this guy into Bitcoin at that point since 2015, bro.
Okay.
And so
damn.
Yeah, so he finally was like, all right, give me the green light. I'm like, let me do a video. Did a video, put it on YouTube. And it just kind of went from there, man. And guy named Cliff High saw one of my in-car videos, kind of blessed it, and then it kind of just went from there, man.
Okay. Damn, so he's probably kicking himself in the ass not getting in 2015.
Yeah, because the thing is, bro, and I know many people who may have either been in the game already or got in cryptos in 17. They got excited and probably got their friends and family into it in 17. And you know what happened at the end of 17 going into 18. So I'm sure a lot of people made a lot of enemies. And, it is what it is. It's not the first time I've seen Bitcoin do that, though. So, I was very cautious about getting people into Bitcoin. But hey, I mean, everybody was coming at me in 17. So it's like, you should have listened to me in 14, 15.
It wouldn't have mattered, right?
Yeah.
You've still been up.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just I look at it like a speculative high volatility security.
Yeah.
And I come from a very traditional investing background.
Mm-hmm.
So when the homies came and they said, hey, yo, I'm about to get into crypto, how much should I put in? I was like, man, just throw like $100 up. You don't want to throw the bank at it.
Right.
And the homie was like, nah, I'm trying to get rich. I'm like, that's not really the approach you kind of want to have with this. You want to stack sats a little bit over time.
There you go.
And he went to the bank and leveraged his 401k to get some cash and bought in. I think he ended up buying into an ETF too. So he doesn't even actually own Bitcoin.
That's the worst.
So he leveraged 401k to buy into an ETF or some shit like that.
He basically went to the bank, told them, hey, I want Wall Street to take my money from this Wall Street gangster over to this Wall Street gangster.
Yeah,
and you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
You know,
interesting.
and a lot of people missed out. I remember late 2017, I tweeted out, I said, I sold. I said,
Mm.
I sold the bulk of my stock. And everybody's like, oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy. And I was like, maybe,
Nah.
I was like, maybe, you never know. I might be missing out on some gains. And I was worried, I was like, it kind of felt sick to my stomach because it was still going up. And I was like, I lost out on some money, but I was like, nah, in the investor world, if you up, you sell, you're not down until you sell. And then sure enough, January hit and that price started coming down. I was like, I told you.
Yeah, man. And I didn't really explain in the introduction. So my background is technical, computer science background, but also am into finance, been trading for 13 years, primarily FX. I build and create automated bots, trading systems for initially for FX, but about 2 years ago, I started with Bitcoin and cryptos. But you make a good point, man. It's when in trading or investing, bro, it's not realized until it's realized. It's all paper profits until what you did in 17, you realize them by securing the bag. You got to secure the bag. And so
Gotcha.
even in 17, bro, I was telling people like, look, I didn't sell all at once. I sold into the rally. So I was just selling into the rally all the way up.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't know when the top is. That's hindsight. That's called hindsight trading.
Okay.
You look back and say, yeah, that's the top, but you don't, when you're in it, you don't know what the top is. Neither do you know when the bottom is. So my thing is you should dollar cost average in and dollar cost average out. It's the safest way to do it.
Yeah, that's a little bit of what I did. The minimum investment that I did put up, as soon as I got that back, I took it out.
Yep, that's smart. So now you're playing with house money.
Yeah, I mean, it doubled rather quickly. I think it doubled in like a month.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I doubled up. So I took my initial investment off the table just to show just to know that I can't lose now.
Right.
I'm playing with the house money now.
Yep.
Whereas some people, they would leave that initial investment in and then you could be down. There's no way for me to be down if I took out my initial investment.
Nope.
So, that's why I like talking about economics and investing, because a lot of people don't know about it and a lot of people make mistakes. I was talking to Peter McCormick and he was telling me about the millions he lost. I think he lost like 6 million not getting out in time.
I lost money as well, but I would have lost more if I hadn't. You basically, Hotep, you can never scrape the pot. You can never get it all. And the people who do get it all in the instance of 2017 were just lucky. Somebody has to be at the top to sell, right? It's just it's a probability function. It has to be the person that's at the top selling, and someone has to be the person at the bottom buying. But that percentage, that percentile is like 1. Most people never get the tops and never get the bottoms, and that's something that people should keep in mind.
Right. Yeah. Dollar cost average, you hit that right on the head. Coinbitsapp.com, our investor model is based upon the dollar cost average. For anybody's not aware, I'm an equity partner in coinbitsapp.com, started by Maher and Youssef. And we've had a lot of success with that company. And it's pretty much the safest way to invest is dollar cost average. And, we do it for you automatically.
And your fees are flat, right? $1, something like that.
Yeah, it's flat dollar fee, And some people complain. They say, well, you say a minimum of $5 a week, it's kind of high, that's 20%. $1's 20% of that,
Nigga, you need to put more than $5 a week.
And that was my point. That was my whole point. I'm like, if you were to take, $250 and put that on the Bitcoin and, what are your network fees for that?
Exactly.
It's more than $1.
Right.
So,
You got to play the fixed cost game with that. So of course, if you putting $5 in, it's not worth it. Wait till you can put in $30, $40 or more. Now you're able to, take advantage of that flat commission.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so let's talk about the topic at hand tonight. I know we're gonna have
Yeah,
Bitcoin
man.
say come back next week. This is more like a pre-fight preview.
I guess.
I don't want you to unload all your ammo
Okay.
because he might do some scouting.
Yeah.
This might
Yeah.
have been a little sneaky tactic by Bitcoin Say.
I didn't think about that, man. I know you West Coast cats. All right.
So when I've been doing these Bitcoin debates, and I've been hearing a lot about the tech, right? A lot about the tech, but it seems like to me the tech is a result of philosophy, and the philosophy really comes back to who wants a means of exchange and who wants a store of value.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
real. That's the real argument here. Is
Right.
Bitcoin a store of value, and is it a means of exchange? So,
Yeah.
as a noob coming into this space, how would you address that?
It,
That
it's
topic.
it's definitely a store of value. Um, and the thing is, man, it's funny because initially, like I said, I got into crypto 2013. The ethos, the philosophy of what Bitcoin is or isn't was still evolving. It was still being molded. You know what I'm saying? So we were figuring it out as it was coming along, as things were developing, as more people were entering the market, as we start to see how this new technology behaved in the wild, in the free market. So it definitely was looked at as a means of exchange more so in the beginning.
Mm.
But I look at it as a gradient scale, and we're going from means of exchange toward a store of value, and that's the arrow of time with this, if you want to put it that way. But
Hmm.
I think the big issue, man, and I see even very very veteran, like OG guys in this game, core developers in this game, like big cats in this game that's been around, still miss the point. And I think they miss this point because they're more technical than they are uh, understanding of how money works, right? And monetary policy, and how that side of it is many times missed in this game. And I don't blame them. You can't be a jack of all trades. There's some really genius programmers in this game, but they're technical, they're programmers, and they don't get the other side, and they think that all of these deflationary currencies will be able to replace, not all of them, but many of them think that it will replace the dollar at some point, or will be utilized on a percentage basis higher, be utilized as a means of exchange on a day-to-day basis. And it's just pure economics that tells us that that won't be the case. And like I said, I don't want to go too deep into it, but that's kind of the thesis. That's my
Right.
dissertation.
So a lot of the people in the Bitcoin debates, they always come back to Satoshi's white paper. That's what they always reference back to.
Yeah.
And so in your opinion, I guess it's a two-part question, right? Is Should we keep following the Satoshi paper? And do you think that's what Satoshi intended Bitcoin to be, a store of value, or what do you think about that?
He probably did think or intended to be a means of exchange. But
Okay.
again, a person can't predict the future and how a new asset class actually behaves in the real world. And in the real world, it's turning out to be a store of value. And just one point we can talk about as far as Bitcoin being utilized in the real world. Think about this, bro. Like, if we had a Bitcoin based economy, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would banks lend Bitcoin? It wouldn't make sense, would it? If it's
Nah.
deflationary, so basically in the system we have now is a debt-based system. If
Right.
a bank lends money out, the time value, so they're them lending that money out, they get paid in interest.
Right.
That's how they get paid back, because the difference, right? With Bitcoin, I don't want to lend out. Why would I lend you something that I know will go up in the future?
Yeah, it's no incentive to.
Is no incentive. So that's the key point about Bitcoin, and it is a deflationary currency or asset, but it basically it perverse, like it just changes it perverses the incentives for growth and investment. I don't want, if Bitcoin is being used widely, I'm not going to use Bitcoin to for capital, to buy land, equipment, oil, whatever. So what ends up happening, man, is money velocity begins to lock up. People won't utilize it. And they shouldn't. It's a type of asset you should hoard. You should hold on and use as a hedge against fiat currencies, just like
Mm,
gold, right?
mm,
You don't want to spend gold for your Starbucks coffee.
right. And that's the analogy everybody's using nowadays is, you can buy your coffee with this. And I'm like, I don't have a problem buying coffee right now, but
No. And
I
I'm
do.
damn sure not gonna. I'd rather spend my fiat money because I know it's going to be worth less in the future, in perpetuity,
Exactly.
right? So why not
Yeah.
get rid of this to buy my coffee versus using something I know will be worth more in the future?
Right. Yeah. You wouldn't want to get rid of that. You'd want to keep that.
Yeah.
So help me out to try and rationalize this, right? Um, what happens to a value of a currency, a cryptocurrency, when it's used as a means of exchange? That's what I'm trying to like wrap my head around, right? Like,
Man, that's a good question. I've never been asked that question. So if Bitcoin is utilized, so you have to look at it two ways, man. I know back in the day when I got into the game, one of the third coins I really in communities I really gravitated toward was Dogecoin.
right.
Dogecoin is a great community. They're still around. It's a meme coin, but that just lets you know how a community can keep a coin going. But Dogecoin is inflationary.
Mm,
So if anything, I don't think Doge will ever take off because it's a meme coin. It's not going to be taken seriously among the masses. But use Dogecoin.
mm, mm.
Use stable coins. That's what I've been saying. Stable coins is a cryptocurrency that will be utilized by people, point of sale, e-commerce, brick and mortar, online transactions. That's what I see. But to answer your question, Bitcoin being utilized on a daily basis, what happens to the price? God, man, that's a good question, bro. I don't
It's
even know.
probably, I'm thinking it would lose value.
Let me see.
I mean, so going back to what you were saying before, right? If I hoard Bitcoin, it increases value. I wouldn't want to lend this thing out. But if we're using this every single day and slinging it around for coffee, you're kind of just like, it
No, the
don't.
problem the problem is it would be if it was open ended, meaning the supply was open ended. Because the supply is capped at 21 million, there's still that limited supply aspect of it that forever the market will price that or continue to price that in going forward. So I still think it will end up going up as people utilize it.
Mm. So
Now that I think about it.
so then we're thinking about like a world pre-fractional reserve banking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what a currency is worth, right? So even if we don't print anymore,
Mm-hmm.
the value isn't exactly stuck to the amount printed.
No,
Like
no.
just because there's a finite amount of something doesn't mean it's going to hold, a high value. Value is usually dictated by,
Demand.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
Facts.
know, like there's a lot of people that put out, limited supply of clothing. That shit don't sell though.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. So I mean, you got to add that aspect or component to the scenario. Is it in demand in that scenario where people are using it every day? I mean, I would assume it would be, right?
I would assume that, let's say Bitcoin Cash, right? Everybody wants to use Bitcoin Cash to buy their Starbucks.
That's another topic we can talk about. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna talk about that. So I'm thinking to myself, right? If somebody's looking on their phone at Blockfolio, right, and they see the price jump 1,000 points, you think he gonna keep using that as a means of exchange?
Hell no. And that's the problem, bro. Like what I'm talking about and what you believe in, it actually is a threat to all altcoins as well. Mm-hmm. Because if Bitcoin is a mean of store value, then that means the competitive advantage that all these other coins have is null and void, because all of those are store of values too. If they're all deflationary, so it doesn't matter how quick your coin is, it doesn't matter what your block time is, it doesn't matter none of that, because the market still will look at your coin as a means of store value, I should say. You get what I'm saying? So it's a threat to Bitcoin Cash because it makes it just a purely speculative coin.
Yeah. And you kind of hit it on the head earlier, where you said the Bitcoin Satoshi's white paper may have said it was a means of exchange, but how people are using it, takes it somewhere else. And that really resonated with me because that's how I feel about marketing. I feel like you can sit here all day and say what your brand is and strategize how the marketing is and your product, like OnlyFans, right? Like OnlyFans was for creators. That shit's for hoes now.
Yeah.
Like right. You can't predict that. And you can't say,
no, you can't.
You can't say, like, you got to stop using my product. Like, no, you created this product for us to distribute content, behind the pricing gate.
Yep, exactly.
So when people try to sell, all these cryptocurrencies based upon, their speculation of what it should be or hopes of what it should be, I'm like, you can hope what it should be all you want.
Just look at the numbers, dog. Just look at the numbers. Money, the velocity of these coins going from wallet to wallet is nil. These coins aren't moving around like that.
Nah, they're circle jerking.
Yeah, they're just on exchanges. That's where they are. Off-chain transactions going back and forth speculating. These coins are not being used. If they were, you would see, honestly, if Bitcoin was being used as a what do you call it, means of exchange, then we would be gridlocked like we were in 17. Like the blocks would be full and it'd take you 2 days to get your, you know what I'm saying? Get your coins across the network. Like the data shows us that it's being utilized as a store of value and as speculation.
Yeah. So walk me through this, right? So people talk about big blocks, right? Big blocks.
Yeah.
If these blocks are so big, it is true that these blocks aren't full when they go out, right?
Which ones you talking about? For Bitcoin Cash or for Bitcoin?
Yeah, for Bitcoin Cash.
Okay, yeah. No, their blocks aren't. I don't think their blocks fill up.
So that you can actually close the miner can close a block without it being full, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I figured that. So yeah, so they walk in. So they keep talking about these bigger blocks, and I'm like, so there's got all this space in these blocks. You just taking up space on the ledger, sending money around to each other. That's funny.
Again, it's just Bitcoin Cash is their pitch, right? You know about startups and stuff. Their elevator pitch or their 1 minute deck, it is not compelling. They need a different. I don't even know what other what else they could pitch as a competitive advantage over Bitcoin, because again, I look at all of them as a means of storing value. I'm not saying Bitcoin Cash is going to zero. I don't think it will, because there's always going to be, if there's a market, humans are going to speculate in it.
Right. And they got those billionaires backing it.
Right. So there will be a value on Bitcoin Cash, and it actually may go up in percentage wise, may be a better investment than Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
You know how I look at Bitcoin Cash? I feel like Bitcoin Cash could be an on-ramp to BTC. Right? So it's like you come in, you play around with this shitcoin, but when you're ready to be a big dog, you invest in BTC, right? Because you know, there's advantages to having such a weak network, unbusy network in BCH. For example, you got these Twitter bots where I can say, hey, yo, you know, send $1 in BCH to such and such, and he gets it really fast, right?
Yeah.
But when we have a store of value ledger, I don't think I want to be occupied with nonsense like that, right? So I look at, you know, it's kind of like let the kids play with the shit coins and let the adults in the serious business happen on a big blockchain.
And I think Bitcoin Cash is also one of their claims to fame, and one of their marketing pitches is that they're going to have smart contracts on top of their.
So explain what smart contracts are.
So they'll essentially be able to create dApps that you know compute different functions or does different things on the top of the blockchain other than just sending money back and forth or you know, like that. So I think that's one of their things. They're saying, hey, you know, we're doing this versus Bitcoin, where it's not a smart contract type of blockchain.
Yeah.
You know.
I really don't get the whole put the apps on the blockchain thing.
It's actually going to be, I think, bigger than Bitcoin. The whole concept of blockchain is bigger than Bitcoin.
What's the advantage of having an application on the blockchain?
One advantage is decentralized. So, you know, no one person can take it down, right? Can block it, can't take it off the app store.
But I can block it from entering my app.
Sure.
Right? So if I have the app and you publish this piece of content to the blockchain, you'd have to actually get access to the blockchain and, you know, have the technological resources to do so. But if I wanted to block it from, let's say, you know, BitChute, they have that capability to say, I won't show this content, it won't be viewable, right?
Right. And so I had this conversation with my man Mike from Rethinking the Dollar the other night on his show, and I was explaining to him, like, over the past years, I'm realizing, like, we were initially, my concept of blockchain was fully decentralized. That's what blockchain is. And as I'm seeing, as I'm evolving my thought and my you know, my process of thinking in this game, it's not a binary event, Hotep. It's not centralized or not. That's not real world. In the real world, you'll have a gradient,
right?
And and the best platforms will be somewhere in the middle, or as close as possible. Where because you can't have a blockchain that's fully decentralized and it be rolled out to the masses, because then you have kiddie porn on there and niggas just be it'd just be all wild. It'd be wild, bro. It'd be so wild, and you couldn't stop it, right? There's no checks and balances there. And so we haven't gotten to that point where we've got the perfect solution where and it's like right in the middle, but I think it's coming.
Yeah, you know, that's my problem when people sell these ideas and they sell it with this term decentralized, and I'm just like, shit ain't decentralized. Yeah, you know, it's like, and you know, I've been guilty of it in the past, you know, because I hate centralization and I hate communism. Yeah, but you know, as I get smarter about this and I keep doing these debates, I keep seeing inside the Bitcoin window more and more.
Yeah,
and I'm like, the more I look, the more centralized things look.
Hell yeah. Bitcoin is very centralized when you talk about hash power and hash, you know, 3 entities control 51% of the hash power on Bitcoin, and they're in China. There's nothing wrong with China. I'm not saying, you know, there's anything wrong with China as far as the people.
Right.
But many people do have a problem with that. And if they understood that, I mean, I guess I put it to you this way. I think it's a human. It's in our it's in our nature to click up and collude.
Right.
And so it doesn't matter what application you put us in. You put us in a purely free market, guess what? We're going to click up. We're going to collude together. We're going to try to corner the market. That's human nature.
Right. Right.
So it is what it is. I'm learning that too, man. Like I really thought starting out that this whole blockchain thing will have a day where it was truly fully decentralized. And that's in a real world scenario, that's not going to be the blockchain that wins.
Correct. Yeah. So expand on that. Why don't you think it'll win?
We have to have checks and balances. We have to have some ability to, if there's an error on the blockchain, to roll that back to you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To fix that. If it was fully decentralized, because Bitcoin is not fully decentralized. If there were it was a fatal error on the blockchain, then we wouldn't be able to fix it.
Yeah. And the other thing is this mining equipment's expensive. Right?
Yeah, I used to mine back in the day. Yeah, I used to mine back in the day.
It's expensive, right? So then they say oh, Bitcoin Cash is for the people and da 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 da. And I'm like, y'all still need billionaires to get your hash power up, because that's where the power really is. You say you want to empower people, you empower people from the mining.
Listen, man, I keep it real, bro. Like most of these people that shoot those type of statements and narratives, they're just, what they're doing? They're participating in the greater fools theory. They want the next person to buy their bag at a higher price than they did, and it just keeps going up, keep going. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. That's all it is, man.
Yeah.
It's not Bitcoin Cash, not for the people.
Yeah.
None of it is purely speculative right now. There are issues that the fiat monetary system, there are issues that Bitcoin fixes versus the fiat system.
Right.
And that's why I'm a supporter of these types of currencies. They're not owned by any one person, Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and stuff. There are some issues. Everything has issues. Everything is no panacea in life. Right. Everything is going to have pros and cons. But I think that with Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, any of these coins that aren't actually run by a central bank or entity, a private entity, it's better than what we have now. And we'll see that expressed in price going forward in the future. So you just got to hedge your owning these currencies right now. Is just a hedge against fiat currencies, central bank issue currencies.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. I'm like, I'm going to hold on to this fiat note. Next year, it's not going to be worth the same thing it is right now. So I'd rather risk it on a speculative market than to hold on something. It's like either I'm going to make money or I know I'm going to lose money. I could possibly make money, but I know I'm going to lose money holding on to this thing.
Right.
So I try not to keep too much cash reserves. I try to keep things in assets.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's how the wealthy get wealthier. They have assets, they have very little cash. You look at, I know a billionaire here in the state in Michigan, and they don't have, relatively speaking, he's got way more cash than any of us will ever have. But you take a percentage look at his portfolio, how much is liquid? Very little, maybe 10, 20, maybe 20% max.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You got to keep, because again, money is to be used as a measurement, right? That's what money is, a unit of measurement.
Okay.
And it allows us to compare goods and services. Unlike goods and services. That's the key point. Unlike goods and services.
Yeah.
So basically apples to oranges, that we can fluidly exchange an apple for an orange with money.
Right. Right. You know, this is worth $1 and that's worth 50 cents. You
There
can
you
measure,
go.
you can measure the worth of things.
There you go.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's so important for people to know money. A lot of people say, you know, I want to get money, I want to get money. And I would say, do you know money?
Hmm.
Right? You got to know money to be able to get money. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't have any money education, you don't know what money is and what it's for and how it came about. I think it's a little bit harder to get money because once I learned money, I don't know, something clicked. It just became easier to get money. Like
Right.
knowing that money is fake emotionally motivated me. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, if it's fake, then it should be easy to get.
Right. We do place too much value on money. We put it up on a high pedestal. And it's easy too because money is a direct connection to us, our survival for the most part, right? To put food on our table, take care of our families. So there is, I don't want to downplay it, there is a very high intrinsic value that money holds, but the concept of money is what people should tear down as far
Mhm.
as the actual dollar meaning something.
The
Nah,
USD, the US,
yeah,
yeah, that US dollars is criminal, man.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's. So, what do you think about the Facebook coin and what they're doing over there?
So I reported on when the day the white paper came out. I did a video about it and told everyone right then and there, this is not going to fly. It's a direct competition with the Federal Reserve note.
Is it?
It's a direct competition.
Mm.
Yep,
So
direct
that
competition.
so that's why they coming down so hard on it.
There you go. There you go.
Mm.
Now, someone on my channel posed a question, and they said, "Well, think about this, CB. If they're coming at Libra like that, why aren't they coming at Bitcoin like that?"
Hmm.
And I'm like, it's not a threat to them right now.
Yeah, it's not. It really. You don't even see many people, even at the height of Bitcoin. People still weren't touching it.
Hell no. I was in North Carolina visiting my boy down there, and we were at Top Golf. And I'm at the, this is my first time there. So I'm registering, getting all set up. And she's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Crypto Blood." She's like, Crypto Blood? How do you, is that KR? I'm like, "Nigga, are you?" And she was young. She was like 20, 21, young, bro. Not a, Gen X or baby boomer. So that when I saw, and this was in 2018.
Yeah.
And when
Oh
I
wow.
saw that, I was like, damn,
Yeah, we still in the baby infancy
we
stage of all
are.
this.
We are.
You know, like I even have, I got a lot of boomers and conservatives and older folk that follow me, and I'll mention Bitcoin or we'll talk Bitcoin or crypto, and they're like, I don't mess with that. And it's just
Yeah.
like, it's almost like when somebody would say, "Oh, I'm not messing with the computer," when the computers
Yeah.
first came out.
Right.
it's,
Right.
it's like, all right, well, you're gonna be behind, right?
Yeah.
Like for
Yeah.
example, I had an aunt, and she had a really great job. She worked there with my mom, and computers were getting phased in.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady goes, "Yeah, we want to train you on this software." She's like, "I've been doing this way by hand for all these years. I don't need to learn no software."
Mm.
Well, guess what? She works at Target now.
Dang.
Yeah, and she had a really good job. All she had to do was take the classes.
That Hotep, that's what I fear, man. Getting older. I don't know if you do. Like, I fear not keeping up and keeping sharp, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we'll all get to that point.
Yeah,
Unless we continue to read more books, learn more. You just got to keep that going because the world is forever. The only thing that's constant is change.
yeah. Like a lot of people. I've had a lot of pushback from the crypto community. They said Hotep Jesus isn't genuine. He doesn't really want to learn. Da 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 da. And the truth of the matter is, I need to know what's going on with this trend. I need to know what's going on with this space. I believe this is a very important space to stay on top of. And if
It
I can
is.
be hosting debates and be right on the pulse of this thing,
Yeah.
I think I'm in a really good seat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
But I just fear about other things, like what's coming in the future. Like I'm trying to stay ahead of this AI stuff. I'm starting to learn about AI, neural networks. I'm getting ready to really start trying to code and do that type of stuff with Tensor.
is that the
That's the software that you can use to start playing around with neural networks and building those.
okay?
That's the future, man. I just don't know. I'm scared of the future.
Is the coding similar where they have arrays and strings and databases and so on, or how is AI different from any other coding language?
Oh, it's still arrays
Okay.
and stuff like that. Yeah, but it's just the way you code it. The functions that you use um allow you to set up these neural networks.
Mm-hmm.
Layer 1, layer 2, and you got hidden layers, and they all kind of, it's crazy. It's through you really using a lot of calculus. But the great thing is if you use Python has a lot of libraries that already does all the heavy lifting for you. You can
Okay.
just import them bad boys and just call functions and boom, 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 and you out there. So you
Right.
don't have to do a lot of the heavy lifting anymore. I'm just trying to learn. I want to know what's going on in these functions.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's the same with me. I sell Bitcoin and I'm hosting debates because I want to know what's happening in the blockchain.
Right, right.
I don't want to be the same guy I was on Rogan where they asked me, about blockchain. I was like, I don't know shit about blockchain.
Right.
I knew it was a ledger, but
Yeah.
I don't know about SHA-256 and
Right.
A6. This is stuff I know now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
And that's another. So AI, that's something I'm really trying to keep my hand and my finger on the pulse of and quantum, man, quantum computing.
okay, what's
That's
that gonna do for us?
that's I don't know, man. I'm scared. I'm literally, dude. I'm kind of scared of the future. I'm kind of scared of the future. Like your boy Elon Musk said, he wants regulation to be put in place to stop this stuff, man. Because this among their peers, and it's moving fast, man. And so I don't know, that when that came out, a lot of people in the industry, in the crypto industry, were like, "Yo, what does this mean for Bitcoin?" You
uh,
know,
yeah,
and I'm like, to be honest with you, I'm not sure. Like, yo, 2, 3, because it's not. This stuff doesn't grow linear, like in a linear fashion.
it's exponential.
It's exponential, man. It's logarithmic. It'll creep up on you. It'll and we look up 2, 3 years from now, and ain't nobody got jobs because they don't need. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't
Yeah,
need jobs for a lot of the. And I'm not talking about remedial tasks. I'm not talking about the guy that's at Burger King flipping burgers or dropping them fries down.
yeah,
How can I take your order? None of that. I'm talking about like
office job,
mid-level, mid to upper, maybe even close to C-suite level jobs, bro.
especially on the accounting side of things.
Oh, that's done. But even programming is going to be done.
Yeah,
AI
yeah,
is going to be, I'm telling you, AI is going to get to the point where it will be able to program itself.
right. You just tell it what you want it to do, and it's gonna say, "Okay, give me 1 second."
Yep. And it's going to, with AI and blockchain and AI and quantum computers, you're going to have computer programmers, pun intended, like the computer is programming. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
That's why I
I'm a
say,
little scared for the future, man.
that's why I say to my kids, I say, two things you need to learn are sales and marketing and investing, because those are two things that'll probably never go away, at least for yourself. You always be able to survive with those. If you don't have any sales skills, I don't think you'll be able to survive this coming wave.
Mm.
If you don't know marketing, because I think what's going to happen is we're going to move into a space where Entertainment's going to be our job. You ain't got no jobs, so you got to entertain each other. And your universal basic income are going to turn into super chats for your favorite people that keep you out
Fact.
of depression.
Fact. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. That's kind of partially why I'm doing this whole, this whole crypto blood and just entertaining, educating people. That ain't going nowhere. Gambling, entertainment, and drugs. I need to become a drug dealer, man. Let's link up, man. Let's do some. Those aren't going anywhere, man. You see the proliferation. I mean, I don't smoke weed, but that's getting very popular. You got a lot of the opioid. That's a big issue. I'm not grouping weed and opioids together, people. I'm just saying, like,
Right.
that is, that's gonna be big, man.
Somebody said, "Crypto blood. Can you give your opinion on IOTA?"
IOTA. Wow. I heard that they're making some moves, man. I don't keep my finger on the pulse on IOTA. Internet of Things. They're supposed to be the blockchain for Internet of Things. I don't know, man. I think being that specific is going to be their downfall. Like, you got to look at projects and blockchains. I'm a huge fan of EOS. You got to look at stuff like Hedra Hash Graph. Those types of railways, the infrastructure type blockchains where you build on top of those are going to be huge. I think those will encompass a lot of stuff that may run Internet of Things, like Internet of Things may run on top of EOS or Hedra Hash Graph. And so when you have these specific, really tailored made blockchains, I don't know the survival of those long term.
Walk me through what's going on with EOS. Why do you like that?
If you take a look at blocktivity.info, when you get a chance, you'll kind of see. And that's another aspect. Instead of people looking at coinmarketcap.com to look at the price of Bitcoin, go to blocktivity.info and you can see the utility of these blockchains. And so, you'll be able to see the throughput.
Holy cow.
Yeah. How many transactions is doing a day? How many, so
it's not even close.
Not even close. Not even.
Yo.
And it's been like this for a year. And EOS 2.0 is coming out, which is going to be 16 times faster than this.
Whoa, hold on. All right, so just people that not looking at this, EOS is under activity. Activity here is described as number of operations on the blockchain during the last 24 hours, and that was at 48 million. In second place is Telos, and that's at 3 million.
And guess what? Telos is a sister chain of EOS. I had I've had Doug on my show. He's actually coming back on, creator of Telos. The creator of Telos is coming back on. That's a sister chain of EOS. So delegated proof of stake is what they're all running. And TRON is probably third.
Yes. Third, yes.
TRON is delegated proof of stake as well. So delegated proof of stake is a very good algorithm for smart contract blockchains.
Interesting. So I'm looking. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah. So with EOS, man, you can literally run games on it right now with low latency, under half a millisecond or a millisecond or lower in latency. So again, those are platforms that I think are ready for scale. And you'll see those types of blockchains really be utilized to create other things. Like I could actually run Bitcoin on EOS.
Wow. So what are they doing over there so different from everybody else?
It's the architecture, it's the structure of how they built it from the get-go. They built it for scale out the gate.
Okay. Bigger blocks?
No, it doesn't work like that. It's instant.
Okay.
It's instant transactions. Transactions are free as well.
So there's no mining?
No. It's a derivative of proof of stake. It's called delegated proof of stake.
See, I got more studying to do.
Yeah, check it out, man. But EOS there are others as well. Like I said, Hedra hash graph is not even a blockchain. It's a hash graph. It's a DAG. So that's past even EOS. Like that's like maybe the evolution of what we call blockchain, you know, going into DAGs and hash graphs, man. So we're early, man. And for people to think that, you know, I hear these maximalists and various people talking, and I'm like, dude, I made this analogy. I said, you sound like the person that said Netscape is the best browser and the only browser that be around forever. That's how they look, man. Like we don't know. We don't know what the future holds, and I'm sure it's going to be much different than now in this blockchain game. So I don't say I just support Hotep, the blockchains that are at the forefront right now.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're going to be there forever. I'm just letting people know, yo, this is what's cracking right now.
Yeah, I saw that, you know, people were saying that when I was into the space. Oh, you know, shit coins is going to be gone. It's just going to be this. And just my own common sense looking at some of these people.
Yeah.
And
common sense.
Some of the shit they say. And I'm like, it's never just one in a market, dog.
No, that's not a market.
Yeah.
That's not a market. You know what I'm saying? That's not a market. So
yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Nah, it don't work like that. Bro.
So I knew it was people trying to sell me on something, trying to get me to
greater fool theory. I told you.
Yeah.
They trying to get more people because they already loaded in. They locked and loaded.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
They ready to go.
They're ready to go. So we just need another 100,000 of you Hotep Jesus is coming up in this month.
Yeah.
So I can sell to y'all like 10x higher. You know what I'm saying?
So that's what they was looking at me like, the guy that could pump the coin.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Hotep, pump this coin so I can get my bag on the dumbasses at. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a feeling about that. Because I started realizing, so I decided not to include one of the coins in my debates no more. I'm like, nah, I'm not pumping this for you. You know, we're gonna be y'all play communist games. I'm gonna play communist games.
There you go. Exactly, bro. Exactly.
So I'm looking at this proof of stake. It says proof of stake is a type of algorithm by which a cryptocurrency blockchain network aims to achieve distributed consensus. I like that term right there, distributed consensus.
Now look at delegated proof of stake. That's what EOS, TRON, Telos, what they run on.
Okay. Delegated proof of stake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Steam runs on that as well. BitShares, Steam it.
Okay.
They run on delegated proof version of it, but EOS is a improved version of it that Dan Lammer created.
So how do we break this down into layman's terms, right? So we know that with the other blockchain technologies, there's miners, right? So that's not called proof of stake. What's that called?
Proof of work.
Proof of work, right. Oh, so we have proof of work and then proof of stake. So in layman's terms, explain to me the difference because I'm still not getting this proof of stake.
Sure. So proof of work is kind of what the term sounds like. You've got miners, okay? They're hitting the block. They're doing these computations. And really the computations is just to make it difficult it's a competition. It's like a lottery. So every 10 minutes, there's a lottery essentially. And in that block, miners got to figure out what that hash is. Right. So they're all mining, just doing computations for no reason, just to make it difficult.
Right.
So boom, first person that gets it, they get the reward for the block mine.
Right.
Then boom, we go to the next block.
Right.
So it's just that's kind of in layman's terms what proof of work does.
Right.
Proof of stake is more so based on how many coins like a master node has. So the more coins you stake kind of gives you weight and voting power on the block.
How do you stake these coins out?
You buy them and then you stake them on the blockchain. So you got to lock them up essentially. You lock them up, so you can't use them. But while they're locked up, you have that voting, kind of like that voting power, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I'm the creator of EOS, and there's a finite amount of these coins.
Of EOS, there is inflation. There's inflation. They're inflationary.
Okay,
They're
so
inflationary.
they're inflationary. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. All right. Now you just got even more complicated on me. So
Yeah. And
that's
so Ethereum is proof of stake.
Is it?
Yes.
Didn't know that.
Well, they're proof of work. They're moving to proof of stake.
Okay.
They're moving to proof of stake. Yes, they're proof of work right now, but they're moving to proof of stake because they realize, which Dan Limmer and many others who ended up building their smart contracts, not proof of work, they realize that proof of work is not scalable. So they're moving from proof of work to proof of stake, which I'm not too sure they're going to be able to do it successfully or in a timely fashion. That's why I'm not a big fan of Ethereum.
Okay. I'm just writing down this question before my next question after this one. All right. So we're talking proof of stake here, right?
Yeah.
And I'm the creator of EOS, and I understand it's inflationary. So I come out with a certain amount of coins in the beginning, or right? And then,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then, how am I issuing these to an exchange, to people? Are they buying them? Like, what's like? How does this work?
EOS really got a big. There's a lot of haters in the game, and there still are. There's a lot of hate for EOS.
Okay.
And you're a common sense person, right?
Right.
When niggas hating on you hard, if you got the whole industry hating on you, they're not hating on you because you're not a threat. They're hating on you because you are a threat.
Right.
If you weren't a threat, they wouldn't even pay attention to you.
Correct.
So it's a lot of hate around EOS. They say it's centralized and this and that, and it's a pedo coin. And I've had Brock Pierce on my show a couple of times to talk about, try to clear the FUD around him. It's a whole it's a whole thing about him. That's a whole nother topic.
Right.
But so they did a year-long ICO. They didn't call it an ICO. It was kind of, what did they call it? A token initiation event or something like token. They didn't call it ICO, but
this is smart.
Yeah, but they did a whole year thing, and it essentially was a daily auction for the coins, 365 days. Their whole premise behind that was that back when the ICO era was going crazy, most small fish didn't get a chance to get the coins. It was a lot of whales. They had their addresses whitelisted, so they get right in right when the smart contract turned. You know all that. Remember all that. So they were whitelisted out the gate. So they were getting the coins first, and by the time you look up 5 minutes later, all the coins are gone, and they all go to the big guy. Yeah. So their philosophy was, let's do a year-long daily issuance of tokens, and it's in a Dutch auction fashion. So the price is not fixed; it fluctuates. So it was done like that every day for 365 days, and they raised $4 billion.
Wait a second, hold on, wait. How much coins were they issuing? Was it the same amount they were making available to purchase every single day, or whatever got purchased?
2 million tokens a day, I think it was.
Okay. Wow, interesting. Price stays flat during that 1 year period?
No.
Okay.
Every window, there were windows. Right. Every day was a new window. So they were trying to let markets really just get at it, and figure it out. So it was an auction every day, and you bid it, like you bought wherever, and then based on supply and demand, and only got 2 million in that window for the day. It fluctuated, man, and then it locked up at the end of that day. It expired, and that was the price you got. If that makes sense. So you didn't go in. You don't go in like, I want to buy it at X price. No, you just go in saying, I want to buy these tokens. This is how many tokens I want to buy. Now I have to wait and see at the end of the day what price it ends up locking in at for that window. And I get that number of coins versus Ethereum at that price, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Everybody ERC20 shit.
Yeah, the ERC, they're right. They were initially ERC20 tokens, and then when they launched their mainnet, they converted over, and they're their own token now.
Right. Yeah. So walk me through the actual technology now, how it differs from the mining process, or I should say, because the mining process basically verifies transactions. So what is verifying the transactions on proof of stake style blockchain?
Well, I'll speak on I'll speak on delegated proof of stake.
Okay.
Which is a derivative improvement over proof of stake.
Right.
Delegated proof of stake, there are 21 block producers, main block producers.
Who are these people?
They're voted in by
every day, or
every 2 minutes.
Oh, wait. Back up. I like this.
You see what I'm saying?
What do they call them?
They're block producers.
Block producers.
Yeah.
Are they doing this with the same mining technology?
It's different, but they have their setup, right? Okay. Their servers, and they spend money on the infrastructure. Card? No, okay. It's not like that. No.
Okay.
So they set up their servers, their infrastructures, and they process these transactions.
Okay.
In a round robin fashion, so no double spending can occur. So it's in a round robin fashion with amongst the 21. Mm-hmm. So these 21, they get voted in. Now I will say, because people are going to say, well,
so wait.
Go ahead.
Transaction enters the blockchain network.
Mm-hmm.
All 21 approve the transaction, or one?
I think it's all 21 have to approve it in a round robin fashion.
Every 2 minutes.
Every 2 minutes voting happens.
Right.
To select who you can vote every 2 minutes with your tokens. The whole, anyone who has a wallet can stake their coins with a particular proxy that votes for for various BPs, or directly with a BP. And so I just want to forewarn.
So that's how the BPs get paid, by the votes.
By processing the transactions. They get it's inflationary, so they get coins from that. And you can see, and that's the thing, like you can go to the Block Explorer on EOS and see what every person is making. You can see every BP what they make. Down from 21 down to, I want to say, like number 90. It fluctuates. I don't know where the cutoff period is now.
Yeah,
maybe it's in the 90s, but all the way down to 90 something. Don't quote me on that. They get paid a certain amount of EOS a day.
Okay, that's where the inflation comes from.
Yes.
That's not bad. That's not bad, actually.
But there again, we talked about its pros and cons.
Yeah,
there's nothing perfect, right? And in the case with EOS, man, like people and even in the community, they have a issue with what's happening with the top 21 BPs. So initially, how it was designed, they were looking to basically reward the people who put the most or give back the most to the community. So if I'm a BP and I've created some type of DApp that helps make it easy for people to do XYZ on the network, whatever, in return, you would think that the masses would vote for you, right? They would stake their coins with your BP so that you are higher up in the ranks, and eventually, you're in the top 21. But what has happened is people have come in with big money, and they've pretty much kind of like bought their way into the top 21.
Mm-hmm.
And because a lot of people aren't really voting with their tokens, they're they're doing other stuff. They're not voting like they should, like we do here in America. People don't be voting.
Right.
But so these are things that need to be kind of worked out, and there are proposals about how we can fix that to not to incentivize or lessen the incentive for how it's done right now. But I think like maybe 40 or 50% of the top 21 BPs are in China. There we go again. Them boys be taking over, bro.
Yo, and this is what I'll be saying to like
they be taking over on everything, man.
Yeah, this is why I say to like the boomers, the conservatives. I'm like, yo, y'all got to get up on this technology shit because China gonna be your daddy if you don't.
They already are. And I was talking about that on my channel, man. Like, you know, I fall into this as well, man. Like, we only get information that we get. Our core, what you want to call it, circle of competency is whatever it is, right? And anything outside of that,
we don't know about.
So if I'm only being able to get information from within the United States, not even mainstream media, I don't even watch MSM,
right?
But online, there's still biases. Like any site that I read or blog or whatever, if it's in the United States, it's most likely going to have some bias towards our viewpoint, and we're not getting the whole picture on what China is doing, how they're positioning themselves. They're making more millionaires every year or month than it's crazy. They are going crazy. They're going crazy over there, bro. And there are issues, of course, the communist style, but it is what it is. So communism, the way they structure their whole situation is actually more efficient to scale and grow because it's lockstep.
Okay, talk about that.
So everything is coming from President Xi down. So you move like a army, but yeah, the Navy, you know.
Yeah.
You move lockstep. That's why they're able to pivot, grow. 5G done, boom, that's done. They cracking with that for years now. They got the fastest railway system. You know, they're leading in every category from a technological standpoint because they're able to move in lockstep and pivot and do things quickly without all the bureaucracy that we have here.
How much of that can you attribute to the fact that they have a homogenous society?
Meaning what?
They're all Chinese. You know, I think there's like a sense of pride in being Chinese where like I'll die for my country, right? Whereas you ask an American, like, will you die over this shit? And they're like,
wow, yo, Hotep, I ain't never think about that, bro.
I think that's why communism works for them because they'll die for China because China's for Chinese. Whereas America, I don't think communism could work for America because
hell no, it wouldn't work.
Yeah,
it wouldn't work.
We're a melting pot.
We've got different ideologies.
Yeah.
And you know, over there, you're right, man. It is very homogeneous in that nature because, dude, most of them are atheists. So that's one thing you can check off. Boom. Don't have to worry about all the ideologies and retarded stuff that come with religion. So that's boom. There, the advantage right there out the gate. You know what I'm saying? So they have the same
spiritual beliefs,
same cultural beliefs, and they're under a dictatorship, a communist, movement. So they're, as much as we don't think it's fair how they treat people or whatever, I don't. Do you hear too many Chinese complaining about their communist state?
Well, they're not allowed to.
Maybe. Yeah.
A lot of that information gets suppressed. Like you said before, we're in this American bubble, so we don't really know what's going on over there. Yeah, right? So for example, they talking about they locking up Muslims over there.
Okay.
In the concentration camps or something like that.
Yeah, in the organ harvesting and stuff. I heard about that.
Yeah.
I heard about that. But like we just talked about, is that stuff over exact? Is it kind of, when you put a little stank on it, by the time we get over here, are we over exaggerating it?
I mean, half of me doesn't disagree. with the tactic, right? If we look at it as if we look at an organism, right? As if we look at white blood cells in the body, if we have something that enters the body that's could be harmful, the white blood cells have to attack it, right?
Yeah.
If we look at America and we're being invaded by foreigners, we have to build a wall, right?
Yeah. Any other country does it.
Any other country does it. So when you see them rounding up these people, the organ harvesting, I feel like, is a little bit wild. But objectively, if I was an alien from another planet and I came and looked at that and I said, well, really, if you have these people imprisoned, you got to squeeze all the juice out of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to get them for what they're worth, and you might need some hearts, you might need some kidneys, and we got some good ones right here. So take them shits. We don't care about these motherfuckers,
right?
Like I do sympathize with them, but that's why China's a strong nation.
I'm just not convinced, bro. It's like that deep with it though. Like,
okay,
because I saw a documentary, and I'll share it with you when we finish up. But it's about an hour-long documentary, and it's a guy that went over there. And he's doing business over there. He's like, look, people, America, you got to wake up. This is the biggest investment opportunity in the next 100 years. He's just going through all the bullet points. I mean, he's over there. He's showing people, showing us how they like I said, they build a building in like a year.
Just like that. It take us months to fix a road. Bureaucracy.
Exactly, man. And so, I'm just starting to try to dig deeper. I'm not saying I'm, pro China or nothing, but you have to look deeper at this situation, because there's a reason why Trump is steadfast on trying to squeeze these cats.
Yeah, they getting money.
They getting money, and it's a threat. Yeah. Again, you know what I'm saying? Like, for so long, Republicans and Democrats have allowed these cats to do what they want, because I think we were scared of them. You don't test the bully, dude. I mean, if you're scared of a cat, you don't test them. You just kind of pander to whatever the requests are, right? You do backdoor deals, you do NAFTA, you do da 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 da. Yeah. So Trump and his crazy ass, he like, nah, we're gonna make America great again.
He's
I don't know if his tactics are really gonna work. I think it's just too late. I commend him for the effort. I give him an A for effort, but tariffs, dog, are just essentially, it's a tax.
It's a tax.
It's a tax. And guess where the tax is gonna be transferred to the consumer, to us.
Yeah.
I understand what he's trying to do optically.
Yeah,
but it's not gonna work, man. I think we done.
And the way they're going after Africa, the way
China, yes, they have bought. They're about to take over Africa.
Yeah,
number one natural resource place in this planet, on this planet.
Yeah, I tell a lot of people, they're saying stuff. You should go back to Africa. I was like, I plan on it. Like, if you don't have plans for Africa, you're going to miss out on Africa's the new United States in the next 100, 200 years. It's the new United States.
Absolutely.
And America, I feel, won't be the same power it is anymore. I think that power is going to transfer to Israel in the Middle East.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're going to have, they're going to be sort of like the controllers of the United States of Africa, and have to share that with China. But I think that between Europe and China and the Middle East, the Arabs, the Arabs got North Africa locked down. But I feel like Africa's the new America. It's like a Wild Wild West. They got this one show, I think, called Cocaine Cowboys or something like that. I forget what it's called. Something Cowboys. Mm-hmm. And these white dudes are in Africa just investing and making money.
Getting it in.
And I'm just looking at black folks like, y'all scared of Africa. There's white folks over there snatching up. I mean, how much land is available in Africa, bro?
Oh my God.
Like, they giving it away.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Chinese buying it up, man. They're
Yeah,
buying it up. Gandalf White said, "I'm bearish on Africa." I mean, I wonder why he says that. Why would you? Some niggas just be wanting to take the opposite just to take the opposite. That don't even sound right. That
because
don't even.
it's the word Africa. White people, when they hear Africa, they think all the what was that word you said before? The circle of friends or something like that. You said
Oh, area of competency.
area of
Your
competence.
circle of competence.
It's circle of competence. Their circle of competence doesn't allow them to see what's in Africa. You know, so they have no idea what's going on there. They have no idea the amount of money being invested there. In fact, George Bush has bought his own city in Tanzania, Kigamboni. He
Are you
bought.
serious? I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know this.
yeah. George Bush.
My man says Africa still can't handle its own agriculture and textiles thanks to the flood of debt and aid that crushes their lower and middle classes from keeping wealth. But that doesn't mean I agree with him.
Yeah,
I
but that's
agree that they're really under oppression, primarily by the white man, you
right.
know. But that doesn't mean that that's not a land of opportunity. It still is.
That's what makes it more of an opportunity.
Exactly.
Like that's why I say like this is why people have to study economics.
Yes.
If you see a depressed area, that's
Right.
an opportunity for investment.
Right.
You don't invest when shit is worth, $1 million.
Nah.
It's too late.
Yeah, you don't invest in San Francisco.
Right. You don't invest in Bitcoin at the top of 2017.
Right.
You
You invest
invest at the
now.
bottom, right?
Right.
So if you say to me, yo, Africa's disheveled, I'm thinking to myself, dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs.
Exactly.
I get it on at the ground floor.
Right.
But again, people hear Africa, they think malaria, they think
sickle cell.
Yeah. African tribes.
Fat bellies with worms and flies in my mouth. Man.
And they see,
some beautiful women over there. It's a lot, man. It's not that at all.
It's not. And they hear depression and corruption. And I'm like, can you name a nation where there isn't corruption and doesn't have fractional reserve banking killing it from the inside out? I mean,
I watch a lot of financial like media outlets on YouTube and stuff, and people, and they love to use Zimbabwe as the picture, the post child of hyperinflation.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it did happen in Zimbabwe, but it also happened in Weimar, Germany. It also happened in South America. It's a whole bunch of places where they love to use Zimbabwe, boy. Man.
Yeah, So Aircoins Lee, thank you, Keith Drummond. Aircoins Lee said, what are you guys' opinions on universal basic income? Yay or nay?
Oh,
I'll let you.
You gonna go?
I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'll fill in the blanks. Like because I might not need to add on anything.
Man, that it's a unfortunately, and it goes back to what we talked about as far as quantum computers that really picking up in AI. It's a necessary evil, bro. That's where we're heading. There won't be any jobs. So you're gonna have to have some type of UBI to supplement the masses on a monthly basis to just at least get them to just above poverty level. It doesn't fix anything, because if you know economics, if you add more money into the system, it's just all it does is it's a shift on the curve.
Right. So
all it does is shift price up on the curve.
Right.
There's more dollars chasing the same goods and services. Therefore, if I'm a person that produces something on a monthly basis, and I see cats got more cash in their pockets, over time, I'm gonna inch that price up, and you'll finally get to equilibrium, and it's no better than where it was prior to UBI. So eventually, that $1,000 you get a month won't be enough. You have to go higher, and you have to. It's not a good solution, but that's the only route we got, bro.
So I disagree.
Okay.
I think UBI is very communist. I think that it's not necessary. I
Hmm.
think that humans will adapt. People will move into other positions, right? I think that with AI, right? When you have
Mm-hmm.
AI, you'll be able to build more things faster.
Yes.
And when you have to build more things faster, I think it creates more jobs than it destroys. It's just different types of jobs. You're going to need people to go out and do demonstrations. You're going to need people to sell. You're going to need people to. So here's a job that I thought of that will come in the future: brain harvesting or
Mm.
thought harvesting.
Mm.
And basically, what'll happen is you'll sit down a computer, you'll attach like this Professor X device to your head, and you'll get paid for the amount of time you spend on this device, almost like doing surveys. And the AI,
Interesting.
and the AI is just going to analyze your reaction to things. So you look at the screen, and it's going to show you like an ugly woman, and then
It's basically going to calibrate and kind of transfer your intellect, your level, your IQ.
yeah. So then you take that over, let's say 1 million people. It can create an aggregate of
But
thoughts.
but the problem is, that's the problem though, Hotep. It'll only needed one that it only needed one pass.
Mm-mm.
It
Mm-mm.
only needed one. That's how AI works. So when you do AI and you basically train the AI, right? So you have a data set that you pass through the function, right?
But what I'm saying is the data set's going to change.
But but AI learns, so it's gonna be able to pick up every permutation or combination that's ever possible. You
I
see
see what
what
you're
I'm
saying.
saying?
Yeah.
Quickly,
And I
quickly.
don't, and so I'm a firm believer that it can't do that. It
It
can,
can, bro. It can. You hearing it from. I'm not saying I'm a code genius or anything, but I'm technical. It can, man.
but I believe in God and I believe in intuition. I believe that humans have the ability to create things that can't be thought of or calculated.
That's where quantum computing comes in, because our brain is a quantum computer.
Okay.
It is a quantum. It
But our
literally is a
brain,
quantum.
but thoughts don't come from our brain.
Where do they come from? Our soul,
If you want to call
our
it that.
conscious, or whatever you
Yeah,
conscious.
yeah, some spiritual thing. I believe that
That's
the brain processes thoughts. It doesn't create them.
that's where we get into, and I can't say I can't agree or disagree with you, but what technology does, man, I remember hearing, what's my man name, Black brother. He's a science, he's an astrophysicist.
Not Neil deGrasse.
Yeah, Neil deGrasse.
Okay.
He said, and this is so true, bro. He calls God the gap, the God of gap, or the gap of God, or something. Like, I forgot how he used, but essentially God is, and it goes back to what I talked about, your circle of competency, what
Yeah.
God is always collectively in human nature, or in society. God is always right outside of our area of competence.
Right.
That's what God is.
Right.
So the more technology moves out,
Closer it
God
gets to
gets
God.
gets pushed further and further out.
Okay.
So, to give you an example, like Thor, and back in the day, they used to worship the evergreen tree,
Yeah.
because in the snow in the winter, it never it was the only tree that stayed green.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this nigga must be a god. Like, what's going on? So they start worshiping the evergreen tree, i.e. Christmas. That's where
Yeah.
that's where we put, so they used to put gifts under the evergreen trees. That's where
Right.
we get Christmas, whatever. But I just say all that to say, our area of where God is, the God of gaps, or I don't know what it is, but our that area is getting smaller and smaller. We used to think that lightning was God. We
Yeah.
used to think that all types of things, but as technology grows, we start to, and I believe in God. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
I totally believe in God,
Yeah.
but I think that, man, as this technology gets further and further, man, it's going to challenge a lot of people's view of actually what God is.
Right.
And then so we start tapping into quantum computers, neural networks, AI, and they're actually starting to be able right now, they're able to start creating a consciousness in these machines, bro.
Really?
Yes. They're creating a consciousness, like a self-aware, because consciousness is just being self-aware, right?
Right.
For the most part, I'm just in layman's terms, like it's just being self-aware that you are here.
Right.
You exist.
Right.
Like most ants and all, insects and stuff, they don't necessarily know they exist. They just are programmed to do boom, boom, boom every day. But I don't know what happens when the AI is able to have a conscious thought, man, and do and create things out of just sheer creativity. I don't know, man. That's why Elon Musk, he's a smart guy, man. Elon Musk is very concerned, and many others they see 2-3 steps ahead of things, and people should be concerned.
I feel like
I don't think it's going to take. I'm not talking about like a Terminator scenario. But the need for humans will be marginalized over time, man.
I feel like natural selection.
Yeah.
I say don't give people universal basic income.
Okay.
I say let them die.
Yeah. That is a solution. But that's the hard.
Otherwise you kill everyone.
Yeah.
With the universal basic income,
that is a hindrance for sure.
You make it so that the people who can try to make it out here, you done inflated the currency so bad, you put them on universal basic income.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then it just creates this super upper class and then just a large lower class. And then that's when we have
what I thought about this, like what comes after capitalism?
Well, we have to define capitalism because I define it much different from other people.
Right. You talked about this on my show. I remember that. Yeah.
I call capitalism freedom.
Okay.
The lack of bureaucracy stopping you from creating wealth. For example, if somebody wants to do hair in their house and you caught with, people doing hair in the house, they're going to put you in jail because you didn't have a permit.
Yeah.
Right. So I would call that communism. And I would say the lack of that permit would be capitalism.
Okay.
Like when you look at Friedman, when he puts a microscope on Hong Kong and how Hong Kong doesn't have restrictions on many things. If you want to go to this dude that say he a doctor and he's doing good work, he don't need a degree or nothing like that to perform on your ass. That's your risk. You chose to go to this crazy motherfucker because somebody else told you he helped them. I call that capitalism, whereas you're free to do whatever the fuck you want.
I hear you, and kind of going back to the crypto thing, that's how it started. That the community was more so that way, and I've seen since 2017, man. I've seen a transformation in the wrong direction. I'm seeing KYC, AML, banks, government, taxes, bit licenses, and this and that, and we're going down what you're saying, communist type of environment here in the crypto community. So I think privacy coins are going to be very important in the future. They're going to be very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody in the chat said my idea is too anarchic. And when we look up the definition of anarchy, it says utopian and the lack of government. I think people are afraid of people. And the thing is, people are fear for their safety. They believe that the government protects them. The government don't protect you, though. If somebody won't pop you, you could get popped, though.
Matter of fact, the government gonna pop you. They the ones that's gonna kill you. They're the ones that gonna kill you, bro.
Exactly. So Mises Institute did some research on the Wild Wild West, and the Wild Wild West didn't have government yet, but it was super safe because everybody was strapped
Yeah.
up. And if you did something that the community didn't like, they hung your ass at high noon and
Yes.
pop popcorn about that
Yes.
shit. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
You allow people to govern themselves. And I believe that if the absence of police were to occur, people would just hire private security, and private security would do a better job than police, because police are just really trying to work for their salary, whereas private police would be dictated by the market, and they probably get paid really fucking well
Yes.
and do a better job.
They will be getting LeBron James numbers, which they deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, which they deserve.
And
I agree, but I don't know how that. I mean, I agree. I overall agree with you there. I think if we didn't have police, first of all, we already don't have police in the hood here in Detroit, and we police ourselves. They just come after the fact.
right.
They come to see. They come to do a report. Okay, let's see. All right, call the coroner. Yellow tape this bad boy off, chalk it. But I think if more people were, like you said, militant, had guns. I'm a promoter of guns. I have a lot of guns. I think that is a check. It should be a check and balance situation that will happen there. Yep, I think so.
Yeah, I look at government as being very terroristic. I mean, when we leave the house, we got worried about getting pulled over by the police.
Absolutely.
I'm not worried about another human being harming me. When I leave my house, I'm like, I hope the cops don't fuck with me.
Hey man, that's me on a daily basis, man. Because I got my stuff limoed out, so that's another. You can't have your windows tinted. It's a safety issue for when the cop comes up side of your car. I need to see who's in. Man.
And then the Supreme Court, after the Parkland shooting, they basically said that police aren't obligated to protect us.
Wow.
So when they say protect and serve, like they're not protecting or serving.
Wow.
The only thing that they're protecting is the government.
Yeah. and their agenda
and private property. They're not, when they say protect and serve, they're not protecting people, they're protecting private property. They're constables. That's what they are.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by protect private property?
Banks.
Okay.
Commercial property, things like that. But they're not here to protect the actual individual. They're here to make sure people don't overthrow the mayor.
Gotcha.
That's what they're protecting. They're protecting the establishment. So I don't look at government as, I think government screws everything up, man. I think people did just fine without government. I think that the way people in Arizona live, they don't want to live the same way as people in New York City want to live. People in Atlanta don't want to live the way New York City people want to live. So, you got to allow people to govern themselves. And when you have a federal government that tries to tell you, you can't smoke weed or you can't have a certain possession of weed, and this shit grows from the earth, that's a problem. That's a problem.
But the issue is, man, like it sounds good on paper, but the execution of it, I'm just still not convinced can happen. I don't think it can actually happen.
Execution of what?
Free markets, a what you call capitalistic, a true capitalistic society.
What are the hurdles?
Us.
What do you mean? Us, like how?
We again, it's human nature to collude, to corner markets, to because in a free market, resources aren't going to be distributed equally, right? It just is what it is, right? In the universe, things, it just doesn't work that way. So you have a collection of or a group of individuals, maybe even happens randomly and not in the same area, but over time, those individuals that seem to are talented at extracting wealth from the system will eventually come together. It'll kind of be like a slow group, and they'll just all finally come to, oh, you rich too. Oh, you got cake too. Okay, all right, man. Boom, boom, boom. Now with money comes power, comes control, and it just groups up and they'll collude, and you'll have a government, and it just happens, man. I don't know.
I agree that collusion and a higher class and lower class is inevitable. There's always
Yes.
to be somebody smarter, somebody bigger, somebody stronger.
Right.
That's inevitable.
And the market should reward that person.
Correct.
Right.
My issue is that that's natural, right? People shouldn't fear that. You might have to step your game up. You might have to hit the weight room and get a little bit stronger if you want to compete. My issue comes in the fact that if we got rid of the bureaucracy, people wouldn't need to buy water. They wouldn't need to go to the grocery store as much as they do. For example, you got a woman who put a garden in her front lawn, and they told her shut that shit down. Now I can self-sustain myself. For example, Kanye, what he was trying to do, he was trying to create, self-sustainability in California, and they told him his domes was too high. You see what I'm saying? You see how like government will restrict people trying to compete?
Absolutely.
So you're always going to have that top guy. It just seems like government comes in to slow everybody else down from competing with the top guy. And it's the top guy that's influencing the government to create these restrictions, as we saw with the hemp market. With the hemp market, hemp was legal. And people, you could grow hemp, you can make your own food, you could your own clothes, your own plastic, your own home.
My boy smoked hemp down in right. I didn't know that was a whole thing. Like he was smoking a hemp joint. CBD. Yeah. I was like, what?
Right. But it's there's like 1,000 things you can do with hemp. You can make plastic out of hemp and it'd be biodegradable, right? So what the chemical companies did was I think it was Dow or DuPont. They came in and they lobbied to get it hemp made illegal because people were self-sustaining themselves. They didn't need to buy their products. You see what I'm saying? And then that's how the chemical companies became these large chemical companies producing things like plastic that we don't need, that actually kills the earth.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like removing the bureaucracy actually levels the playing field.
It does.
There's no restrictions. If Juanita, think about what Juanita got to do to have a business, to do hair. She first got to get the license, right? She got to go to school for that. Now, all these black women know how to do hair from the day they're born, right?
Absolutely.
This is in our culture. We created that industry.
Right.
How you going to go to a white man and tell you how to do black hair? That don't make no sense. Now she got to go get a shop. Nobody got no money for no shop.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now that money's going back in. Then she has to follow these safety regulations and cleanliness regulations. If she was able to trap out a house, she might be able to rise herself out of poverty so she don't need UBI. A computer ain't going to be doing nobody's hair, dog.
No, I agree with you on that one.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's the God complex in us, man. We want, and I'm saying God complex is collectively, we want to be able to control people.
Right.
Collectively. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And it manifests itself in government bodies.
Look at prohibition. A lot of people don't notice, but during prohibition, there was a certain type of group that was allowed a certain amount of alcohol legally.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because of their religion, they were allowed that. So they became the bootleggers and they controlled the alcohol industry.
Wow.
Yeah. So once they took control,
what group was this?
We're not allowed to say. That wouldn't be
what?
That wouldn't be kosher, okay?
Okay. I get you, Dre.
Yeah. So at that time, they lobbied to get alcohol banned and prohibited, then said, look, we need this alcohol because it's part of our religion. You guys are oppressing us. So the government said, look, we're going to allow you to have a certain amount. So because they were allowed to have this certain amount, they started bootlegging it. Then once they locked down and cornered the market, they said, okay, you can make it legal now because we done cornered the market. And so that's why I'm like, give me anarchy, because it seems like the bureaucracy is much worse.
I agree. I just think that anarchy always ends up evolving back to, it's like a cycle. It ends up always evolving back to what we have today. And maybe we rebuild and do it all over again. Like,
that's why I say Anarchy, because I really feel like anarchy's never had a hope, right? It's never been tried. Like people say socialism hasn't been tried. I say no, anarchy's never been tried. Show me a time when you've seen anarchy. You've never.
I'm not a big history buff, so I don't know. I can't. But me personally, I don't know. I don't know a time.
It hasn't existed for a large group of people.
But is there a reason why?
The closest thing we had to was the Wild Wild West, and the Wild Wild West was quite peaceful. Like that's the closest thing. And like people think of the Wild Wild West and they think like gunslingers. It's like, no, that's really not what was happening. It was actually safer in those places than it was in places where you had police and, you know, whatever. There's very low crime because people are able to govern and protect themselves. When you install government say you're not allowed to have this gun.
Yeah.
Which makes the bad guy go, oh, look, I got more suspects. I mean, I got more victims to make out of people.
Absolutely.
I feel like anarchy resets things. Like you said, it's probably going to evolve into government, right?
Again, because but it needs but you're saying it needs a reset. I agree with you. We need a reset. We need a reset. Feel like,
you ever read Animal Farm?
No.
You gotta read Animal Farm because Animal Farm starts off with like a set of rules, and then it starts evolving. Like it says, animals good, humans bad, right? Then it evolves to like animals good, humans bad, except for this, and like all these amendments kept coming. I forget what it was, but it just kept amending. And the people who couldn't read kept looking up like, didn't that change?
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you know the term entropy?
Yes. That's when the muscles stop working.
No. In science, I don't know. Maybe for medical it is, but in science, entropy is the universe is in the entropy type of state, meaning everything goes from organized to chaotic. That's the
order comes out of chaos.
That's the direction of the universe. That's how it goes from order to chaos. It never goes from chaos back. So basically, I could never unpour a cup of coffee. The molecules can only go from in a cup of coffee, pour it out.
Yeah.
I can't reverse that. In real life, I mean, mathematically you can, but you really can't do that. But I think that's just a way of the universal law, man. We go from organized, everything is kosher, everything is Gucci, to chaotic.
Yeah.
Every time, man. I have not seen yet any type of scenario in a civilization, scenario where we've just stayed like Gucci, like good, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just always gets messed up. It just goes from good to bad.
Yeah. Envy. And that's part of the reason why I like separation. Black people stay at white people, bluebirds with bluebirds.
We need that. We need that again. I mean, it's not sexy, it's not politically correct.
Right.
But and I'm not saying that white people should hate black people and black people should hate white people. I just think we should synergize with our like-minded, as far as culturally like-minded people, and it'll be much easier for us.
Yes.
Yeah. We wouldn't suffer from a lot of mental illnesses that we as black men suffer from. A whole bunch, man. Businesses would be better because we wouldn't have to worry about competing with the other side, because there's more of them than there are us. So if we go into a business, into a market, I won't say free, but we go into a market as a black business owner, we're competing against a bigger group. We're a subset. So we're by definition, we're not going to be able to compete on the same level as them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that's why communism in China works, is everybody's Chinese.
I agree. When you said that, man, that was powerful right there. I'm gonna steal that one, bro.
Yeah. That's
big.
That's why I feel like, communism can't work here. And I also feel like the United States is strong because it is the United States, right? So each state is technically its own nation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're uniting the nations.
Mm-hmm.
under this thing we call the United States. And separate, we're strong. Together, we're weak, I believe. Because let's say we get black people, white people, Indian, everybody in America under one culture and one belief. It's much easier to infect the organism with a new ideology that way than it is if everybody has their own ideology. Then you have to go around to each group trying to infect each group. But if the groups are small and tight knit within their own culture, they're harder to usurp and they kind of insulated.
Agreed. I agree. Can we get back to that though?
No,
I don't think so either.
I think people
and look, it goes back to the whole concept, the theory of entropy, right? We started that way, at least here in America. You just take the subset of time, a slither of time in history where we're talking about blacks here in America. I don't care if you think some of us, majority of us, were already here or whatever the case might be. I'm just saying, like, back in the day, we had Black Wall Street, all these various areas where blacks coalesced and grouped and had black economics, and it was fine. But once the entropy starts and we start spreading out and mixing, that's when the chaos, it goes from all good, and that's for them too. It goes both ways, not just for black people. I'm talking about for white people too. It would be better if white people were just with white people and did business with white people.
Yeah,
they would have a better quality of life and not have to be stressed when they see a black person and get all palm sweaty and is he one of them from the news, or is he one of the other ones? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think everybody's afraid to be honest today because of PC culture.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm from Detroit though, man. We pretty real out here in the city.
I think black people have a certain privilege where we can talk about this stuff, whereas a white person talks about it.
But I want the white people to talk. Like, I want them to talk like this because I know they think it.
Yeah. I be telling them, put your white hood on,
Speak
man.
up.
Have some pride.
Hell yeah. Speak up, man. Tell us about them black people that live in your neighborhood that's bringing the value down. Tell us about them.
Yeah, but they're afraid of the consequences that come with not being.
And there are consequences.
There are.
I feel sorry for them. There are consequences.
I do feel bad. I do. And that's why they run to us to be those mouthpieces.
Yeah.
That's why the Candace Owenses of the world is so popular, because she's saying everything they can.
Yeah.
She's a mouthpiece,
Right.
And,
it was funny, man. I was at the cigar lounge with my buddy. He's Chaldean. We think on the same playing field when it comes to politics. He's a business owner as well. Actually, he became my friend because he was my client first. Did a lot of work for him, website development, marketing and stuff. But we were at the cigar lounge, and this brother came in, mean mugging out the gate, just mean mugging and stuff, right? So he ends up sitting next to us, and we're talking about Trump, politics, and we like, yeah, yo, this is XYZ, like Trump is doing this, and that's why I like this, that, boom, boom, boom. So he's like grilling me, man, like for real grilling me. Do you know this dude got up and moved into another room?
Black dude. You disturbed the spirit.
I did. But the thing is, it's like politics is another mechanism to divide us. You know what I'm saying? We, once again, going back to entropy, we were once on the one accord. We were all Republicans behind, Martin Luther King Jr. And we had a clear focus. We had a clear plan. Not saying that Republicans today are better than them. I mean, they are, but I'm not like I'm politically agnostic, to be honest with you. Right. It's just that right now, well, actually, for maybe last 10 maybe last 10 years, 12 years, I've been leaning on the Republican side with most things.
Mm-hmm.
But don't get it twisted. They're not for us either. I'm just
Right.
saying. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
But that political topic, man, really divides us, man, and it's sad. It's
Yeah,
sad.
when the election was happening and Trump was whatever getting running against Hillary, I was at the gym and there was an older brother there, and we got to talking, and he was young blood, how the old heads.
Yeah.
He like, young blood, what you think about this out here, man? You think Trump gonna win, man? Da, da, da. He better not win. Da, da, da. So me knowing he's a boomer and he can't handle this conversation,
You went ahead and hit him with it. You hit him
nah,
with it? No, okay.
I had him. I said, "Don't worry, bro. Hillary's gonna win. They're not gonna do this." Because I couldn't find it in myself. I knew what would happen. He would look at me like I was the enemy.
Nigga, I be out here trolling, dog. I be having conversations and just be letting it hang out. Like it happened before too. I was at another place downtown Detroit, and the thing is funny though, because a lot of brothers are actually Trump supporters, bro. Yeah. People out there, don't let the media fool you. Most of my boys are actually Trump supporters.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an old head, like you said in your example. He was sitting on outside. We were all smoking and stuff. We were all, me and the fellow were talking about Trump, and he was looking over. He didn't say nothing for a while. Then he just had to. He said, man, you really like that scum? You like that white? You like Trump? Come on, man. You gotta be joking me. You like Trump? I'm like, yeah. And so I started breaking it down. Yeah. When you break it down to them, instead of how Democrats do, they speak in vagueness. They speak in, you know what I'm saying? They speak in real, real grand, broad, esoteric type of, it's never specifically.
Yeah.
You got to hit him with the facts, man. And he had nothing to say. Like, he just.
Well, that's what I do too. The gym just wasn't the place. Like, I came in there for a workout. I'm like, I really don't got time to be like red pilling this nigga right now.
Right.
I came here to get my workout on. And he came to get his workout on. And I know if I start this conversation, my workout getting pushed back an hour. I was there with my homie. My homie know how I get with these conversations.
Right.
Let me respect my homie time.
Yeah.
Because he just want to work out.
That's the best thing to do.
What I like to do is red pill my Uber driver.
Most likely they're gonna be liberal.
Yeah,
most likely.
So I've had a bunch of Africans, and I usually chill out for a second, and then like, how do you feel about Trump? I just say it like that, because it's easier to talk to a foreigner than it is a Black American.
Yes, absolutely.
They're not as indoctrinated.
Nope.
They're not it's almost like they don't got a dog in the race.
Right.
Whereas Black people feel like they got a dog in the race for some odd fucking reason.
Right.
So they're more willing to listen. So, I had this one African driver, and by the time the ride was over, they was like, yo, I'm gonna look into this shit. You making sense. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, look, you just got here from Africa. I'm trying to let you know the stilo for real.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in this shit because they're trying to divide the nation.
Yeah, they are, man.
That's the biggest thing behind Trump.
They have, though. It's not tried, man. They have successfully. I've watched it. It's so bad, bro. They've divided blacks and whites and whites and whites. You got whites gang. They be so gang with it, man. Like, I watch Fox News and stuff. They be on there going crazy, bro. The Democrats are just this impeachment process is a just bad for the Constitution and da 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 da. I'm sitting up there like, dang, man, it's bad, bro.
Yeah, and I look at Black people as being the front lines, like the Civil War, and they put us out there on the front lines to die first. I feel like the liberals do it to us and the conservatives do it to us because
they both do.
Yeah, they both do. Because technically, because we can say things.
Liberals more than conservatives, though.
Absolutely, liberals more than conservatives. Absolutely, and I feel like this is very much a white war, and This
We
is
need to stay our asses about it, this joint.
yeah. This ain't they got shit to do with us.
It really don't, bro.
Like
Because it's a lose-lose any way it go for us, man.
damn.
Hey, when Trump said, hey, what do you have to lose? I was like, my nigga. My nigga, I'm voting for you. He said, what do you have to lose? I said, yep, you're right. I ain't got nothing to lose.
You got nothing to lose, you know. But I feel bad for us when we are so emotionally involved in this. Because when you look at what the conservatives are complaining about, it ain't about the black people.
No.
When you look at what Nick Fuentes and the Groypers are doing and Charlie Kirk, that shit ain't got nothing to do with black people.
No.
They gripe is white on white.
Yes.
This is our opportunity to let white people hash out their little civil war while we rebuild our brokenness.
You think it's gonna get? It could possibly get that far, bro. A civil war.
Well, I mean, when I say civil war, I don't mean it in the sense of guns and violence.
You don't think it? You don't think it'll get that far?
I think it could.
The Democrats. I've never seen a group so vile. So yeah, they're bad, man. They are a threat to a lot of, like, it's crazy, man. It is crazy. It could really, because this whole impeachment thing is it is unconstitutional. They're using impeachment in a way that it was explicitly written in the Constitution or whatever, that it wasn't supposed to be used in this manner for political sabotage. That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
and so it's a high watermark. This is a watermark moment in America's political history, because now anything goes. I think now any side can use this level of this strategy to try to derail the other side in a political fashion, rather than using it in the way impeachment processes are supposed to be used.
Yeah, and it just goes back to the corruption of the left and how corrupted they are. And the other thing is, the impeachment things are very much a money game.
Why you say that?
Well, recently is a story published about a record-breaking number of donor dollars that came in for the RNC just because of impeachment. When you got Congresswoman Talib selling impeachment T-shirts, it's a huge indicator that this is a money game. You know, this is also revving people up for the next election to increase participation. This is something great for the media to monetize. The media, that's where all the money comes from. America is goddamn
true
media.
True.
You know, so as long as they can keep us glued into this thing, because think about what it takes. Usually it takes like a little, school shooting to get people to talk about this stuff, or a Trump.
Oh, you mean the one the other day?
Well, all of them though, but yeah. Usually they try to do that. And I feel like impeachment, this is very much a publicity stunt.
It's bad, man. It's so bad, man. I actually look at the evidence. I'm looking, and I don't know, you on Twitter more than me. You're pretty big on Twitter. I don't know if you saw the hashtag trending. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? Impeachment Day. You see that hashtag trending? Man, I went through and looked at those comments, those threads, bro. People are so brainwashed, and most of them don't even know what's going on. They haven't done any research, any due diligence, in any form or fashion, and they just go on with the narrative. I can't wait. I'm so glad today we're starting the process to impeach Trump, and people don't even know what impeachment is. Like, impeachment is just having hearings and stuff about, it's not necessarily, even if you impeach a president, doesn't mean he's leaving office, idiots. Like, learn what impeachment is.
Right.
So,
right.
It's
so
crazy.
You brought up something. This is the last thing I'm gonna ask you, and we'll close up for the peoples. Earlier you were talking about how the black guy couldn't even sit around you; he had to leave, right? So let's talk about the emotional ramifications, or the emotional investment of the black community, based upon false pretenses, as it relates to Trump
Yeah.
and the consequences of this,
Mm.
the missed opportunities from this. What do you think about
More
it?
so missed opportunities in my opinion. You hit it on the head right there. Missed opportunities, bro. So I mean, you look at the stats, whether they are inflated, rigged, or whatever. I don't, whatever. But blacks are more employed under his presidency than ever. Um, and so, I mean, it's a good. Him being in office is a good opportunity for blacks to really get their stuff going and their businesses going. And it's a more of a business friendly administration for all. Uh, he's done stuff with the prison reform. That was huge. He's even done stuff for
That was a 180, by the way. He was going the complete opposite direction on prison reform when he first started out. So yeah.
And he's done stuff for as far as historical black colleges to get more funding. It's so much that even non-black topics or initiatives that help us indirectly, I think, as well, i.e. border, trying to clamp down on this illegal immigration. That's taken away from jobs that many of us can have. If we can get that under control a little bit better, I think that's a good thing. It's like, hey, come over here, just do it legally. We don't have a problem with you coming over, but you can't come over here and just take up resources, not pay taxes, and take all the money and just freeload and benefit. And really, it does us injustice, meaning blacks.
Yeah.
Black male, like we below them.
Right.
In that scenario. So what you said as far as take advantage of it, I think is what we're not doing.
Yeah. I hate the fact that it closes off conversation, right? So, you as a brother, you'll say, hey, I don't have a problem. You don't even have to say, I got a MAGA hat and I'm a Trump supporter and I entered the MAGA challenge, right? You're just saying, like, I don't have a problem with this administration. And without inquiry, you're accosted. You're accused of wrongdoing almost.
Yes.
By your own people.
Selling out. You're a sellout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When instead, and I feel like it's closing off dialogue.
Absolutely.
So then it's dividing the black community too. And it's and hindering us from evolving.
Yes.
Because if you're not allowed to, so for example, like the Indian community, the women and the men and the children separate. The children, they go play, the women, they go talk women stuff, and the men, they sit down and they talk. Now the men are going to go and they're going to argue politics.
Right.
And they're going to organize and they're going to say, look, 50% of you go Democrat. The other 50% of us are going to go Republican. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll say, look, we're all going this way. And then next time we're going to all go that way.
Right.
But they're organized.
Yeah.
If you can't have discussion, you can't organize.
Correct. Because you don't know what the other side is thinking.
Bingo. Yeah. So
with my man, him just getting up and leaving, I don't know what I offended him. What offended him that I said. I don't know what his viewpoints are. I don't have a chance to have a rebuttal. None of that. So that was a lost interaction for me to learn maybe something from his viewpoint and, for him to learn from my viewpoint.
Yeah. I'm around my aunties and stuff. And, I'm the crazy uncle that goes Hotep at Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
That always wants to talk politics or problems or whatever. I want to have serious conversations. I don't want to sit around and talk about basketball, wives, and sports, right?
That's what my family. I grew up like that. We used to. It was like 5 of us, 6 of us, 5 of us in a bungalow. We lived all together in the hood. We weren't poor, but we were working. Working class Black American family in Detroit. But we would have. That's what we would do. We would debate. We have family debates in the living room, yelling, screaming. But it was just that. So that's why I like having conversations, and probably why I'm good at just having and carrying conversations on, because that's what I've done all my life since a little kid. I've had debates, conversations with my family. You know what I'm saying? And able to absorb other thoughts and viewpoints. I'm not scared of someone else's viewpoint on anything. I'll sit down and talk to a KKK member. Help me understand what the hell you think. I want to know.
Yeah, that's man shit.
Yeah. So let's have a conversation. I don't run this internet stuff, man. It's so soft. It's made people so soft. They run at the sight of any type of confrontation.
Yeah. You know, with my family, the men will debate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the women will get annoyed. Y'all too loud, this, that, change the topic. And I feel like that's bad, right? Because the women hear the name. Like I've had auntie be like, I don't want to hear that name. It's just like, yo, y'all let this dude affect you that much that you can't even say his name. So then it prevents the men from being able to construct and plan our community. Think about like how often you might get with your family. It might be just at holidays.
Correct.
So if the few times that your community gets together, you can't strategize and argue and debate, how do you mobilize? And I feel like it's mostly Black women who are affected by this Trump thing.
Yeah, I just told you, like most of my bros are open-minded, even if they're not necessarily fully on board with Trump. There's some level-headedness with it when it comes, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? But the women, most women, my wife, with the exception of my wife is definitely on, like she gets it. But that's, I mean, I married a person that would. That's how it should be.
Right.
Yeah, women, man, that's a Black woman. To see a Black woman even want to debate or discuss Trump is a rarity. I don't see that much.
Yeah, I saw I think it was TPUSA or some campus conservatives were on a campus and they're basically getting, not physically assaulted, but their paraphernalia was getting thrown out. Their propaganda was getting thrown out. Their table was getting flipped over. They getting cut.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like these Democrats are literally a terroristic group, bro. It's getting worse and worse.
Right, but when I looked at the crowd, you know who it was? All Black women. It's all Black women, and I'm like, because somebody asked me, I didn't see the video. Somebody came to me and say, what do we do about this? And me as a white conservative, what do I do with situations like this? And my response to him was nothing, right? Like there's really nothing you could do about this, unless you want to start shooting shit up, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, there's really nothing you can do. You're facing a media conglomerate that's mobilizing and radicalizing people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like I literally can see this forming into a civil, like a actual kinetic civil war.
Yeah,
because these Democrats are going. They're violent. You don't ever see the conservative side doing this stuff, man.
Nah, you don't. Like they don't care. They too busy working.
Yeah, they're violent. They're combative. All them terms, all those adjectives, man. Like,
and I feel helpless, right? Because me as a quote unquote Black man, I have my word weighs very little with a Black woman, and
correct.
the white man's the white man's word is everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I was to be there while they were assaulting these men and try to even mitigate and play middle ground, they'd say, I'm the demon. I'm siding with the racist or something like that. And even if I try to talk sense into them, it'd be very difficult. And I feel very helpless because I want to tell them, like, look, all this hatred and emotional problems you got didn't originate from you. It originated from mainstream media. And mainstream media has never done right by Black people. So it makes no sense for you to take their word as God. They're radical.
And it's really sad nowadays because we do, at least now with the internet, bro, you can just with a click of the mouse, a flick of the wrist, you can find out more information, bro. It's not like 30 years ago where all you had
Right.
was ABC, NBC, UBC, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You didn't have the access to information to find out further. People are just literally lazy.
Yeah. But you know, it even comes back to the fact that uh, asking them to review opposite facts, they'll even be resistant to. It's almost like putting a MAGA hat. For example, I had an argument with a feminist the other day. I was on the phone with my friend, and her sister was there, and her sister wanted to chime in on the conversation. She said, you know, black women have been oppressed all throughout history and all time. And I said, where? And she started naming all these countries. And I said, can you show me in Africa where this is happening? And she said, pre-colonialism or post-colonialism? I said, well, we know what's happening post-colonialism. Point to it, pre-colonialism, right? Show me the evidence, because my evidence shows that we had matriarchies in Africa and women weren't oppressed on the African continent. Our culture was more harmonious. We didn't subjugate women. And so I said to her, you know, I'd love to see your point. Show me the evidence where women were subjugated pre-colonial ever. And her response was, I don't got to prove nothing to you. Here we are trying to have a very decent conversation. And instead of just, you know, a level-headed person say, look, let me gather my information. Let me research that.
Right.
Give me your email and I'll send you some materials over for you to read. That's how I would do it. My point. Here, check this information out. But she knew she didn't have that evidence. So she resorted to like an emotional reaction and saying, oh, I don't have to prove myself to you. And I'm like, well, why'd you hop in the conversation? I wasn't even talking to you. And I didn't say that because I didn't want to escalate it. But
right.
This is what I'm saying.
Yep.
The information is there, but they're so programmed to dismiss and not even investigate it.
Nope. Yeah, you're right. And you lose. That's a lose for us. Because they're going to continue, because they cut you off, and that you can't have that, what we talk about, that dialogue. They go on believing what they want, and they go on believing that you're a certain way, and it's a lose-lose.
It's a lose-lose. And I feel like black women are getting taken away from us, man.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I went to a Trump rally, and the only reason why I went to this Trump rally because it was organized by a black dude.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have went.
Okay.
And his name's Derek Gibson, and he organized. He said, "Hotep, can you come speak?" And I was like, "I'll come support you. I'm come supporting you. I'm not coming to support Trump. I'm coming to support you because you asked me to do this."
Right.
So I went, and we're walking, and you know, people are yelling and saying expletives towards us. And then this black woman walks by, and she's hot. You could just tell she boiling, and she just yelling at us. And she's with her man, and he's literally grabbing her and pulling her away, like, shut the fuck up. This shit ain't got shit to do with you. Like, leave them people alone. And that was a euphemism for me where we are right now in our relationships with our women, where they are like controlled over here, worrying about this thing. And the black man is like, we don't got to worry about that. Worry about us.
Mm-hmm.
We spend energy on something that don't even affect us. And then we're so helpless because we don't want to give up on our women, but they're so invested in this shit. And it's just like, nah, baby, that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree.
I feel so bad for dude, you know?
I agree. Like, yeah, it's definitely an issue with the black women. And man, they are being taken away because they're getting they got the carrot dangling in front of them, bro. They're getting all the good corporate jobs. They're starting to make all the money, you know. So you can't tell them nothing.
The VCs are gonna hit them heavy too.
Yep.
The VC's money is going straight to the women.
It is.
So the men won't even be able to provide no more. We're gonna create that chaos again.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Great conversation today.
Absolutely, bro. Always a pleasure, man. Anytime.
I'm sorry to people with I was hoping for a debate with Bitcoin Zay. Bitcoin Zay is traveling, and his laptop is getting repaired. He couldn't travel with his backup laptop for whatever reason that may be, but hopefully we'll be able to come back next Friday and have that debate with Crypto Blood and Bitcoin Zay. We'll talk store of value and means of exchange. So I apologize to the people for that. But I think we had a very, very productive conversation. I enjoyed our conversation today. You have any closing thoughts?
No, man. I mean, people can check me out on Twitter at CryptoBlood_. Check out if you guys looking for to trade automatically. Check me out. It's like I said, my site cryptoblood.io. All the performance is clear, transparent. You can see, all the trades. I actually report them monthly. So yeah, check me out, cryptoblood.io. Got apparel over there too. Got some shirts and stuff. But yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna lock in on. Just pull this up. I'm about to add it to my favorites right now. It's going right in my crypto folder. Boom, done and done. That's awesome, man. Thank you for coming through. Thank you to everybody that tuned in today. Hotep Augustine with $4.99 super chat. He said, "Missed most of this, but I'll go back and review." Crypto Blood gets a follow after this. I love this brother's mentality. Hotep, keep talking at Hotep. Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for tuning in, Hotep Augustine. Check out Crypto Blood and make sure you check out. He interviewed me for his podcast. There's some Gary V drama in there. Or
Yeah,
some
we ain't even get a chance to talk about that again. It has to be
yeah.
next time,
Yeah,
man.
we're gonna do it again. We
Yeah.
definitely gonna have more conversations like that. But make sure y'all check that one out. Me and Hotep Jesus Crypto Blood podcast.
Have you talked to him since?
Nah, man, when I said in that tweet, I said to him, I said, it's okay to tell people that we came from money. I ain't heard from him since.
Damn, starving him.
He don't.
Yeah, you got him on that one. You
Yeah, he
ethered
don't.
him. You ethered him. Can't say nothing about that.
Yeah,
I didn't know, man. He went to a historical black college. Did you know that? Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He went to a historical black college, man. So that's why.
So he been on his culture vulture shit.
Yeah. I wonder, is it his wife? Is his wife black or white?
Is she? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know much about dude. I just know he be telling people he ate ramen noodles when his parents was millionaires.
Man.
But yeah, man, great conversation. Thank you for coming through. This was highly productive. If anybody that missed anything part of the stream, y'all know what to do, man. Hit the replay, watch the replay, man. I'll see y'all. Yeah, hit that thumbs up, subscribe.
Holla.